The time is now 7:32 on June 14th. I'd like to open the public portion of the Richfield Park Board of Education meeting. Let's please begin with a salute to the flag. Mr. Cusimano, were you given a copy of the Open Public Meetings Act? I think it's there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Ridgefield Park Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published, and by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Bergen Record, Star Ledger, Municipal Building, Board of Education offices, and district website. Public participation instructions. Public participation will be conducted both in person and virtually through Zoom. All public will be muted throughout the meeting. Public participation comments are limited to 5 minutes. The public will be able to speak and be seen by the board when participating virtually and telephonically via Zoom. Individuals participating virtually that wish to make comments during public participation will need to raise their hand by clicking the blue hand icon at the bottom of their Zoom window. Individuals participating by telephone that wish to make comments during the public participation will need to hit *9 on their telephone to raise their hand. The business administrator, board secretary will then unmute individuals one at a time to speak in the order that their hand was raised.
Thank you. I also want to introduce to the public Mr. Cusimano, who is here under a shared services agreement from Garfield. He is helping us out in a big pinch.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Mr. Cusimano, can I have a roll call?
Mr. Cathcart,
I'm here.
Mr. Cooney,
Here.
Mrs. Kraft,
Here.
Mr. Phytros,
Here.
Mr. Gomes,
Here.
Mrs. McNeil,
Here.
Mrs. Rodriguez,
Here.
Mrs. Velez,
Here.
Mrs. Orth,
Here.
Dr. Martinez.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Also present is the state monitor, Mr. Egan, Carrie Wright, our attorney. And that's it. Oh, and Dr. Bender, sitting right next to me. No minutes to approve. Correspondence from the public. I received a letter earlier today from Mr. Blumenthal. No other correspondence. We'll move on to committee reports. Negotiations, Trustee McNeil, I understand you have quite the report.
Yes, the negotiations committee met a number of times since our last meeting. I know last time I reported that we were close to a deal with the RPAA. I'm happy to report that both the RPEA and RPAA contracts are on the agenda for approval today. RPEA is a 5-year contract. 3 of those years are behind us, or 2 of those years are behind us. And we've got a 5-year contract with them. And the Supervisors Association, sorry, it was RPSA, not AA. The Supervisors Association is a 3-year contract, so there's 1 more year left to that. I would like to thank my fellow committee members, Carol Velez, Nick Feitros, Dr. Martinez, and Michelle Orth when she stood in when Dr. Martinez was not available, superintendent, and Dave Disler, who was very instrumental in helping us get to resolution. So we look forward to stability with both of those associations and move forward.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds, trustee Cooney.
No reports right now.
Policy, trustee Rodriguez.
The policy committee did not meet. However, we will have a policy meeting in the near future to address policy update, including NJSA 18A 17434 that requires the establishment of threat assessment teams in public school. The new law states that the Board of Education is to develop and adopt a policy for the establishment of a threat assessment team at each school and are encouraged to begin forming the teams. Thank you.
Thank you. Faculty and Programs, trustee Craft.
Nothing to report.
Finance and Insurance, trustee Gomes.
Finance Committee met on Monday, June 12th. Unfortunately, there was no one from the administration present, so present was myself, Dr. Martinez, Vice President Ort, and Trustee Cathcart. We discussed the end of year budget and closing out the numbers. I had previously spoken to Mr. Egan, our state monitor, who did assure me that we are not at risk of running a deficit on anything. We also discussed our out-of-district placements, the busing. We discussed whether there's anything being done with the previous feasibility study that we requested from the prior BA. That's something we would like to see conducted in the future. We also discussed some of the contracts that are before us. There was some language in some of the contracts that we were not too happy with. And finally, we discussed the scholarship that's on the agenda for approval. There were some issues with the way the process worked this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Orth, Personnel, specifically the Superintendent Search Report.
The Superintendent Search Committee was made up of all non-conflicted board members, including trustees Kraft, Cooney, McNeil, Rodriguez, Velez, President Martinez, and myself. Mr. Egan offered advice on some of the qualities we should look for, but was not present, nor did he insert himself into the process. In fact, he did not know, nor did he want to know the final candidate's name until we settled on one. For the purposes of developing a leadership profile for recruitment, 22 virtual town halls were offered to stakeholders. Unfortunately, only 25 individuals attended these town halls, only 7 of which were staff. Reasons provided including time conflicts, lack of comfort speaking in front of coworkers, and other factors. The committee offered and received exponentially more feedback, 361 total, when they were offered an additional and confidential survey with the same questions from the town halls, along with some extra questions about school climate and morale offered only to the staff. The resulting leadership profile was used for recruitment purposes. The committee met on May 10th with HYA to discuss all applicants received. An impressive 30 candidates applied for the position, including 9 superintendents and 13 assistant superintendents / central office administrators. All candidates were interviewed by either Monica Brown or Ms. Karen Shaw of HYA. Our consultants spoke with references for each of the candidates and did a preliminary background check. The committee insisted that HYA explicitly inform the candidates of the district's history, our blemishes, liabilities, and our many strengths. We told them to scare away anyone who was not up to the task we have here. All candidates were then presented to the committee for consideration. HYA made recommendations to further consider a slate of 10 candidates, and the committee was given the opportunity to promote any of the 30 candidates for further consideration. Speaking to the credibility and integrity of our chosen firm, there was at least one strong candidate, a former superintendent, that was not recommended based on HYA discovering the candidate was less than forthcoming with their reasons for leaving a previous position. HYA then facilitated a more thorough review of the 10 candidates using an impressive method referred to as the Delphi method that allowed each trustee to evaluate every candidate and every other candidate before compiling individual trustee rankings. This resulted in each trustee's opinion being factored in, allowing us to build consensus on our top choices. After ranking all the candidates, we were once again offered the opportunity to promote any of the candidates for further consideration. The committee chose to interview 7 candidates. The committee members then did extensive internet research on each of the 7 candidates and shared findings with each other. Some of those findings led to more pointed questions during the last round of interviews. Committee members' interviews were scheduled for Saturday, May 13th, beginning at 9 a.m. in the morning and running until 4 in the afternoon. Each candidate was asked the same questions by the same committee member based on a script that HYA assisted us in creating. Each candidate was provided a 1-hour time slot for the interview. After a long day of interviewing, HYA led us through another round of the Delphi method to build consensus on our top 3 candidates for second interviews. The committee met from 5 to 10 p.m. the evening of May 16th and 17th to conduct the next round of interviews. Each candidate was asked to give a presentation to the board on their proposed short-range plan for our district, followed by more in-depth questions from the committee and a closing statement by each of the candidates. The committee specifically asked each of the candidates to disclose any affiliation with the district, even if it was only cursory. Once again, each candidate was allotted the same amount of time with the committee. After meeting with all the candidates, the committee was once again deliberated, arriving at a unanimous consensus on our top choice. It is worth noting that both Dr. Brown and Ms. Shaw were largely silent throughout all interview sessions and deliberations, unless they were specifically asked a question. In fact, after we had concluded, we asked them who they believed or hoped we might choose, and neither would say. Negotiations began with our top candidate via our board attorney, and we quickly reached an agreement with our chosen candidate. We were able to secure our top choice at a compensation package below the state and county average and below the threshold set by the state monitor, which was less than the budgeted amount for the prior superintendent. The contract was then sent to the county office for approval. Special thanks to Mr. Egan for his assistance in getting the contract approved in time for this meeting and for allowing the committee to conduct a thorough, transparent, and unencumbered process. As we stated from the beginning, our timeline for the entire process was very aggressive on the calendar, but we took our time during all the proceedings. Our fears about being unable to find a qualified candidate were quickly relieved based on both the depth and breadth of our application pool. The professionalism and expertise of our consultants, Dr. Monica Brown and Ms. Karen Shaw, allowed us to have both a thorough and expeditious process. As promised by our search firm early on, May was a hectic month for this committee with many long hours. What made this process easier was the dedication by each of the trustees and the unwavering commitment to do what we believe was in the best interests of the students of Ridgefield Park over any one individual. We believe we have succeeded in that effort. To paraphrase former President Bush, Dr. Vespiani's success now in our district is our district's success, and we are rooting hard for him.
Thank you, Trustee Orth. Okay, we will now move to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Before I begin with my report, I'd like to make a statement regarding the private scholarship selection criteria. I am aware that we have received a number of questions about the private scholarships awarded to our graduating seniors. As an initial matter, I want to thank all of our donors who exemplify the very best of what our community stands for. They have found ways year after year to raise and private funds to assist our students financially. On behalf of the district, I appreciate their hard work and all they have provided to our students. With that said, I am cognizant of the concerns raised by members of our community and take those concerns seriously. Over the past few weeks, I have spoken with our high school administration and guidance department to discuss the process used to select the recipients of these private scholarships. At this time, the district takes a very limited role in the selection process. These scholarships are not offered or funded by the district. Instead, all funds are privately raised. The district's role in the selection process is limited to receiving questions from donors and providing information. In many cases, this involves providing basic information about our students, such as their GPA, extracurricular activities, and their postgraduate plans. The district is not involved in the criteria for the scholarships for the selection process. Rather, as these are private scholarships using private funds, that is left to the donors. Of course, I understand the frustration this year's scholarship selection process has caused. While the district is limited in what it can do this year, I have asked that our guidance department review our current scholarship process and make recommendations for improvement moving forward. Thank you. At this time, I want to thank our student representatives, and I'm going to ask Mrs. Cavins to come to the podium and join me. They're not here. Of course, they're not here. It's exam time. Come on, let's cut them a break.
Senioritis.
Senioritis as well. Okay, so Mrs. Cavins, this year we celebrated the addition of the student reps at our Board of Education meetings. Tonight, we would like to recognize and thank them, our graduating seniors, for their service as leaders this year. Ashley Montoya and Gabriela Gutierrez Salazar. Then
Your voice, if you'd like.
because I know you can
Okay.
shout to the back of the room.
Oh, okay. Can I ask the three juniors to come up? So again, we appreciate all of the hard work and participation on behalf of our student government by Ashley Montoya and Gabriela Gutierrez Salazar. And I'm very pleased this evening to introduce to you our junior class leaders who will next year be participating in this role. So with us this evening, we have Chloe Umania. We have Shay Locino and Vicky Lynn. And I can vouch for all of them as being three outstanding young people that are going to do great things in the world. But before they leave us and they're going to continue to do great things here with us. So thank you for providing them this opportunity. Dr. Bender, I know we have some certificates. Okay, sounds good. All right. Thank you very much for having us this evening.
Okay, so now for some housekeeping. I would like to again welcome Dr. Kuzmano. And I want to thank again our student reps and of course, those at the high school that work with them to make sure that they come, they attend, and they share all of the wonderful things that we have here. Update for parents on pre-K. All parents were notified who are now enrolled and confirmed their participation. Wait list has been notified as well. I will be sitting down with the two providers to determine who will go to each location. Many variables are being considered. It is not a simple process. We have had the Lincoln and Roosevelt Schools kindergarten and sixth grade promotions. I was very fortunate to be at both of them, all 4 occasions. Grant School is on deck, and the 8th grade promotion and the high school graduation are next week. We are all very excited about the upcoming Summer Academy programs, and they will run from June 26th through July 28th. The extended year will run from June 26th through August 8th. You will find our safe return to school plan on the website. Please feel free next week. Please feel free to reach out to provide any comments for consideration and changes. Why we're still doing a safe schools return plan, I don't know, but that's what we're required to do. On Saturday, June 3rd, I spent a wonderful morning with the Nature Preserve dedication with our mayor and other invited guests. It was amazing. I have to tell you, I was so impressed to learn and understand and know that that was a 50-year in the making project, and perseverance, that's the true definition of perseverance. Thank you for the mayor and everyone who worked really hard on that. I really suggest when you drive down or drive back up out, you really need to take a look because it is a beautiful, beautiful site. At this time, I would like to thank all of the teachers and staff. It has truly been a pleasure to experience what I knew would be amazing. I appreciate you all. And my dream team of administrators, I know you have expanded the foundation of my educational philosophy and vision and added your own flair to each building. Yes, I always took your calls, and yes, you were always there anytime I needed your input. You do not know how much your building successes provide me with personal and professional satisfaction. Thank you. Thank you for a job well done. And of course, the central office staff. It has been quite the experience. I know it has not been easy, and I know there are just not enough hours in a day to do the work of the many that are required to perform the tasks, but we are doing it. You all tirelessly provided your assistance in taking lemons and making lemonade. You will continue to serve the district well. Parents and community members, you are wonderful. Your dedication to educational excellence cannot be compared to any other community. You are a part of a unique village. Your passion for our school district to succeed is unmatched, and I thank you for all you have done to ensure our children, your children, get what they deserve. I will continue to be here to provide and ensure they get the absolute best that they have coming to them. Serving as your superintendent has been an absolute honor, privilege, and pleasure. And I look forward to everyone continuing to move our district forward. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Bender. And I was hoping to say this at the next meeting, but I really want to thank you for everything you've done for this district. You've been here for a very, very long time, and the people who come out to support you love you for a reason. I've seen parents, and parents have contacted me about how much they love you and how much they appreciate you. And awkward as this meeting is in many ways, please know that I do appreciate the time and work that you've put into this district. Thank you. We'll move to the state monitor's report.
Yes, okay. We have a board meeting in a couple of weeks, and I'll give a more detailed report at that time. I just a couple of quick things. it's been a pleasure working with Dr. Bender, even though it was a short period of time. And just a comment that Mrs. Orr pointed out about the hard work that the district administration did, I mean, the board, and searching for a new superintendent. And she mentioned that I did not participate, which is absolutely true. I didn't. I just, for clarification, as a state monitor, I'm not allowed to participate in this election because that is the responsibility of the board. And what I do know is that the entire board, the entire team worked extremely hard and yes, spent hours and hours in trying to get this project done. And then just one other thing is a way of assurance to the public. John Kuzmano, who's the business administrator in Garfield, is doing the extra time to come help us in the business office to get the payroll done, purchase order signed. He's doing a tremendous job, and we would be in a terrible mess if he was not capable of doing all that. And once again, I'll give a more detailed report at the last meeting in June. That so ends my report.
Thank you, sir. We're going to modify one of the items that's on the agenda today. And I'll read it before comments on the agenda so that the public has a chance to comment. So 11.27, which is the shared services agreements package with Little Ferry, will now read 11.27A. Resolved that the Richfield Park Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, approves the attached send receive agreements with the Little Ferry Board of Education for the following services, subject to approval by the executive county superintendent for the period September 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. The tuition agreement and the guidance counselor agreement. Be it further resolved that the board president and the business administrator are authorized to execute all contracts and documents in conjunction with said agreements on behalf of the Board of Education. And then we split the item into 11.27B. Resolved that the Richfield Park Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, authorizes the board president to engage in negotiations forthwith with the Little Ferry Board of Education on the attached draft and tentative shared services contracts for the 2023-2024 year. Busing coordinator agreement and joint transportation. I have spoken with Mr. Feitros today and with Mr. Egan several times, and there is a plan for us to meet as soon as possible to settle these, to make these negotiations happen so that we can move forward as two happy districts. That's what we want. I'm sorry.
So Ricardo, I make a motion that we accept the modification that you just read.
And I second.
Any questions or comments on that item? On that modification?
Mr. Cathcart,
Yes.
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft,
Yes.
Mr. Feitros,
Yes.
Mr. Gomes,
Yes.
Mrs. McNeil,
Yes.
Mrs. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mrs. Velez,
Yes.
Mrs. Orth,
Yes.
Dr. Martinez,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you. We're going to move to citizens' comments on agenda.
For tonight's meeting, there will be two public comment sessions, one on agenda and one off agenda items. There is a sign-up sheet on the podium. We'll call your name in the order that you signed in. Each member of the public will have 5 minutes to speak during each comment period. Time cannot be transferred to other individuals. The public comment period will be 1 hour for on-agenda items and 1 hour for non-agenda items. The board will now entertain public comment. Please remember to state your name, mailing address, and to keep your comments brief to allow sufficient time for other members of the public to speak if they wish. Thank you for your cooperation and support.
Thank you, trustee Rodriguez. I also wanted to know while we set up, I have to go get the sheet now, but please note that our board meetings are now on the website. If you go under district board meetings, the last item on that list is board recordings. So feel free, if you don't catch us today, to watch it over, or maybe you just want to watch these meetings over and over again, and that's allowed as well. Donna Duran? Ms. Duran? Oh, sorry, I couldn't see you.
Donna Duran, 16 Sabina Street, Little Ferry. On Resolution 1305, contract approval for the new superintendent, I don't know if I didn't print out that part, but I don't see the salary. Can you please tell me what the salary is?
The salary is 207.5.
And what are we doing with the previous superintendent, Ms. Bender?
That's a personnel matter that I cannot answer here, but she will remain with the district.
And she will still remain in the district?
I
Yes.
think that's the plan as of today.
Okay, Resolution 1127, the busing agreement with Little Ferry. I know you broke it down, and I know you had just stated that you wanted to have meetings with Little Ferry on this. I just have a couple questions. On the part where we pay the busing coordinator, 2 years ago, the salary was, now just follow me on this. The salary was that you charged Little Ferry was $20,000. That was the first. Then it went from $20,000 to $30,000. Little Ferry only paid first 2 payments of that $30,000 because we wanted to meet to have the breakdown on why it went up. So we went from $30,000. Now this year, we are going $53,000 for your busing coordinator. I can't figure it out. The breakdown is it's a lot of money. So are you going to explain it to me, or are we going to meet with Little Ferry and then talk about it?
The second one, I'm not going to explain it here.
Okay.
The plan is, and Mr. Egan has been, I'll say, more than encouraging. He's been prodding the 2 districts to meet, and the plan is for us to meet as early as next week to hash this out.
As far as I know, there was emails sent between you and my superintendent, Mr. Scarfield, as far back as March 27th and 22nd, as far as asking to meet. We didn't hear anything back from the last email. So now you basically want to meet with us on this because it's a short amount of time where we possibility don't have to go with you for busing. So you did not answer back in 2 emails that Mr. Scarfield sent you on asking for us to meet with your board president and also my board president with Mr. Feitros. And Mr. Feitros can answer that because he was a part of the emails. We heard crickets from you. We didn't hear anything. So now all of a sudden, it's the last moment, and now you want to meet with us on this next week, correct?
You want me to answer? Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Yes, I actually had, I sent 2 correspondents to the Little Ferry board president. I felt it was inappropriate, and quite frankly, I'm not qualified to negotiate with another superintendent. And so I sent two
So,
emails.
what do you mean the new
to-
superintendent?
I sent two
Oh, with
emails to the board president to board president. And I will acknowledge that after that, Mr. Scarfield did offer a couple of dates. And I take full responsibility that I was not able to meet on those dates. We lost our BA at the time and we were going through some things here. So I did not answer to those dates. But as Mr. Egan has said many times, his goal is for us to move forward. And so who sent more emails or less emails? You're absolutely right. I did not respond to any email from Mr. Scarfield. I thought it was inappropriate as a board president to engage in negotiations with a superintendent from another district. So I sent them to the board president in the other.
I'd like to correct you on that. It was not to negotiate. It was just for us to get together and finally turn around and try to get together as a unit, as one. So I don't know where you got that from to basically negotiate. You're incorrect on that. It was for us to get together and come as one because the bridge completely separates us. So we basically have to work together and we're not. So I have a question for Mr. Egan. Mr. Egan, do we as Little Ferry have to do the busing agreement or we can go out to bid?
The motion that's being approved by Ridgefield Park now at this meeting, and the goal is to meet with representatives of Little Ferry to see if we can get past this issue of the transportation cost. If you want to call it negotiations, you want to call it, which I do is call it negotiations, but if you want to call it, it's getting together, that's what we're going to do. Now, with regard to the options one of the options that Little Ferry has, at any time, they can go out with a different busing contract. And nobody's going to take advantage of them. My goal is, and which I encourage the Ridgefield Park board, is to document how much the transportation is costing Ridgefield Park and share those numbers and be able to back them up so that Little Ferry can look and a number can be reached that it's actually costing what it's actually costing Little Ferry. And hopefully everybody can move forward.
And a fair number can be reached, correct?
I'm sorry?
A fair number can be reached, a fair
Absolutely.
dollar.
There's no question about that.
Thank you, Mr. Rand.
Janet Malul, 163 East Grand. My first question is on 908.
I'm sorry, Ms. Malou. Could you hold on one second?
Sure.
Just waiting for technology. I don't want to lose the audience. All right? We're good?
Okay.
Sure.
All right. I'm wondering why we are paying a stipend to a Bogota supervisor for our early childhood program.
Mrs. Malul, thank you for the question. That is something that I inquired about in
Okay.
conversation with the superintendent of Bogota. We were discussing their universal pre-K and we have a lot to learn from, and of course, the best way to learn is from others.
Yes.
And I have a deep appreciation for their strategies because they've
Okay.
been doing this longer than we have. And I had asked him, and as long as it's not during working hours, we're using her as a consultant. So she's been here in the evening, all Memorial Day weekend. We discussed this, and I really appreciate her help. But that is a great question, and I'm glad you raised it.
Okay. I'm just wondering about,
Also, excuse me if I may, also to add on to Dr. Bender's comments, we have to take into consideration that previously we just had one class, one preschool class. We're now going to have, what are we up to, 8? No, 4. And we're going to have 4. So the program is growing. So we needed help because by expanding the program, there was additional administrative things that are required by the early childhood program, which is based from Trenton, to ensure that we're doing this correctly. And we didn't have the administrative expertise. And Dr. Bender reached out to Pagoda because Pagoda has an established program. And we needed help to cross all the T's and dot all the I's so we can expand the program. And we're doing that now. And we're going to be successful in getting these additional programs for September, more than what we had now.
Okay, I understand that, but who is supervising during the day while she's working?
You're looking at her. It's a combination of things happening here. Mrs. Moore.
Well, I'm going to go on record as saying that I still have a problem that we do not have somebody in place. And honestly, I think the person that took the time, got that program up and running for this district in a very short period of time, and also pretty much secured that grant, is basically pushed out of the program. And I don't think it's fair. And I think it speaks to things in this district I don't like what I'm seeing. It's basically saying, you put the time in, you get the work done, you get the program up, and now you're cast aside, and we're going to give the credit to somebody else, my opinion. Okay, my question about the contract for the new superintendent was somewhat answered. My question mainly was going to be about the salary. And I just have a statement to make. And I think Dr. V is, I can't pronounce your name yet, is in the audience here. And trust me, you will get to know me. I come to meetings. And my statement is this, and take it for what it's worth, guys. I know you put a lot of work in and you had a short period of time. As an educator and a resident, I will welcome Dr. V and respect the position and give him a chance. I have read the glowing history he seems to have, but will not be impressed until I see results. I have my concerns as I research his history. According to governmentsalaries.com, which is what I've used for a lot of different things, he was in Hoboken for probably 4+ years. It doesn't go back further because it only starts from 2015 to 2018. Then went to Madison for 1 year with an amazing salary. Then went to West Orange for 2 years, taking a major hit in salary the first year. And then luckily for him, it came back up the second year. I saw that superintendents of Madison left to become, I believe it's superintendent of Ridgewood. I wonder if he applied for those positions. I questioned why he jumped around districts, and you know I always question that. Education, people don't do that. Okay, they just don't. It's frowned upon, unfortunately. So I also have some concerns about why he's took the job here. I mean, realistically, we have a state monitor that somewhat basically runs the show. You guys can make decisions, the superintendent could make a decision, but he has the ultimate say, as from what I could see. Okay, so is it that this is his first year as superintendent in which we are giving him the chance? Which I believe everybody deserves a chance, because otherwise I love when you apply for a job and they only want experience. No one's going to give you the chance to get that experience. You never get anywhere. So that I see. is it, but my concern is with his background, if this is going to be a stepping stone for him. Come in to a district, stay a year or 2 or 3 or 4, and then out the door. And lastly, and I'm being very honest here, I still wonder where the connections are. It just seemed too fast, too good to be true. Because I've said who would come to this district. I've said it all along under the circumstances. And I'm hoping he proves to be an asset to us as his paperwork and his history seems to show. Thank you.
Ms. Lulu? As always, thank you for your comments and for being here. Ms. DeSantis?
Susan Santis, 15 Homestead Place. Well, the teacher's contract, I would just like to thank you because nobody else did up there except Mr. Tadros, that you were instrumental in settling the contract. Okay. Resolution, I guess it's 1306. Why is there an indemnification? I've never seen anything like this in my life. That he doesn't want to be held liable for anything before he starts here. Carrie, right?
I mean, I can give an answer, but she's gonna give a
Okay.
better answer. I'll give you my answer first and then Carrie can chime in. The purpose of that is for us to be able to onboard him. This job is a big deal. And as much information as we can give him and he can give us about what he intends to do. And I'm sorry? Okay. This is in the process of onboarding him. So the more information we can give him as a board about the direction of the district and what we see and what, who everybody is, as well as to allow him to onboard us as to what he sees in the district, what his direction is, what his philosophy is, and it protects him because he's not on the payroll here yet. Carrie, do you want to say that in nice legal speak?
I'll say that you got that, you got that absolutely correct. So this is a resolution that is used with some frequency, not every time a superintendent is onboarded, but with some frequency to ensure that he is able to start doing some things, including receiving confidential information. And I believe that Dr. Vespignani also would like to have some involvement in if there's selection of staff that goes on before he officially starts. So there are certain things that he may provide some recommendations and assist the board with. And this is pretty standard in order to provide him that protection.
Okay, this is just something, we've had superintendents come in before their start date, and I've never seen anything like this before. He's working in West Orange. How can he be here for July 1st unless he wasn't renewed there?
His contract ends on June 30th.
So he gave proper notice to his district that he wasn't coming back before he even knew he had a job?
I would imagine that he's okay in his district, yes. But
Okay, the second thing is, the county superintendent said that this board is required to have a resolution to offer a contract before it goes to the superintendent, the county superintendent for approval. And then you have to have another resolution to accept and hire him. That's from the county superintendent. I see that there are more resignations, more retirements. And I'd just like to say what I have to say here. This board came into this knowing what the community wanted, with petitions and people, wanted her reinstated, the lawsuit settled, and her as superintendent. Yeah, you ignored it, and you insisted on doing a search. Through your own search, every nook and cranny in this district, teachers, aides, supervisors, administrators, custodians, board office personnel, PTAs, CPAC, parents, students, municipal government, community, and many more. You formulated a list of things wanted in the next superintendent. Another key component repeatedly throughout was stability. In the end, it boiled down to, as President Martinez said, virtually everyone wanting the current superintendent, which you all knew in advance. And I'll add, the criteria list you created fits the person we already have. Why would they all say Dr. Bender was who they wanted? My guess would be because they believe in her, they trust in her, they like working for her. She is there, she is open, she will provide what their children need, and she's caring and attentive to both employees, students, and parents. She's a curriculum wonk, and she is the person that brings the keyword stability. I know you all deny it, but it was written all over your faces after the first executive session that Dr. Bennett was not going to get a contract. The waves and smiles went to not meeting anyone's eyes. Dr. Martinez said Dr. Bennett's reinstatement wasn't meant to lead to the impression the board was undoing or reversing the previous board's decision. And I'll go back to read that resolution to prove my point. Be it further resolved that the board hereby provides notice to the superintendent, Dr. Angela Bender, that it will not be renewing her contract at the end of the current term. So from what I can see, there was never any intention of giving her a contract. When asked at that meeting if she could apply and be considered, the answer wasn't yes, it was anybody can apply. Now you're hiring a man for more money, by the way, less experience, certainly doesn't check off the very list the board spent $30,000 to create. You're bringing him into a district that has clearly said that they want someone else, plus deal with a monitor who changes his direction every 15 minutes, and a district that has been through a great deal and isn't out of the woods yet. But we did stand on the precipice of it. Again, this time, because of board actions, we stand with another mass exodus of personnel. There are rumors all over the district about this man having connections to certain people. Are they true? I don't know, but they're there and they're running through the staff and community. Now we get to the trust factor. By not reflecting the wishes of the people that elected you to represent them and the wishes of the internal system, you've created a great deal of skepticism and mistrust. And now with the hire, there's more mistrust. You as a board have created a great deal from the bottom up and from the inside out. And the feeling is if you do this to Dr. Bender and actually Diane Thiemann, because I know you want to blame it on the last board, but you haven't done anything about it. Now tell us why a board that knows why the entirety of the people want complete disregard, why the entirety of people want completely disregards everyone's wishes. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. Mr. DeSantis?
Ed DeSantis, 15 Homestead Place, Richard Park. I want to start by saying that many of you on the board I consider friends, which is separate from the issue at hand as to this process. So you understand. I don't know Dr. Espiani. And I'm making no judgments. I'm sure the resolution will pass. And I do believe that the community, the board, and the staff should get behind him in succeeding. I have no intention otherwise. However, I have no doubt the board worked very hard on this. I've been through it. This might be a picking of a superintendent in record time, which does kind of, did you really do the most thorough search? Again, no reflection on you. That's ever been done in Ridgefield Park. I can tell you not even close. I think the shortest search was 7 months. And interim superintendents and interim BAs get appointed for the year because the county already knows you don't do it in 6 weeks. Sometimes you go out again and again and again. Not saying you should have done that with Dr. V, because that is easier to say, Dr. V. I know also that when you vote tonight, you will probably vote in unison. And that doesn't mean that every board member felt from the beginning that it was not going to be Dr. Bender. Some people may have come aboard feeling that was the goal. Some may have decided there just isn't a majority and think there should be mutual support for the new guy. It's understandable in English. And it's something that is difficult because some of you I consider friends. I don't know Dr. V. And yet I feel I have to say my piece. Dr. Bender was brought back after being unfairly removed. I disagree that boards, when they're elected, don't have to fix the problems of an old board and their decisions. I disagree 100%. Every board that comes in tries to fix whatever mistakes or miscalculations or whatever. It's not about justice, and it's not really about Dr. Bender. And I'll explain. What's been disappointing is Dr. Bender's hands have been tied since she's been back. We have no BA, we have no director of curriculum, we don't have no junior high school principal, no preschool coordinator, no PA, no assistant BA, but she's expected to do it all. And the recipe for failure. I still think that she does deserve the respect of being the superintendent for every day she's here. I appreciate we have a borrowed BA that's a good thing. We need it, but a permanent BA or an interim could have been, or an acting could have been appointed. But I have the strong feeling that anything Dr. Bender would have brought to the table would have been rejected, thus leaving all of this on what was repeated as the new superintendent. And you got a school year starting in July. You have non-tenured principals, except one. Dr. Bender's entitled to a position. The board technically can't pick a principal. It falls on this man. A brand new board, brand new superintendent, a brand new monitor, and all these key positions to be replaced. The focus groups, and I hope you don't mind if I go a little over because I really would like to finish. The focus groups are yet to understand. And those of you that may be taking this a little back, well, I'm going to speak my piece. If the focus groups ask for two things, one being Dr. Bender, the other thing being stability. Then it changed to, well, we want to know what the focus groups thought, not about who they wanted. So The focus groups got disregarded across the board. What kind of focus groups were they? They're going through the motions. I have to feel they were going through the motions. And I'm not looking at any one of you individually. That's not the point. I'm talking about the process, and unfortunately, the board is painted with the whole board. People ask for Dr. Bender. This is not a one-issue election. You weren't brought here to bring Dr. Bender back. You were brought here to have stability. And yet, Ricardo, I know that your feeling was that there should have been instability to really get things where they are. Well, the district's been unstable for the last 6.5, 7 years. I was on the board when some of the instability started. Got back on to try, I think we got back on and tried to correct those things. The last board was a disaster. And what they caused, how would you think instability would be the answer to instability? You don't have to answer that question. Everybody's new. You can't ignore history not to make the same mistakes in the future. Dr. V may be a very good man, be an honest man, maybe be a wonderful superintendent. It doesn't appear from everything I heard he has all the qualifications Dr. Bender does, but that can go aside too. What concerns me is not as much that you did not pick Dr. Bender, was that it became very apparent you had no intention to. Why? Because actions speak louder than words. She received one interview and was dismissed with all the initial candidates. Probably should have interviewed her through the end. It would have looked a little more objective. Disappointing. We don't know what position Dr. Bender's getting. I'm sure the non-tenured principals are shaken inside because they don't know what's going to happen to them. Unfair. And school year's coming to a close. We got a school year starting in a couple of months. We have instability. Severe instability. I don't mean this to be a lecture, but wake up. This is what happened now. So I know some people on the board will vote in unison. Maybe the whole board will, to try and be behind the new guy. So it shows support, and that's a nice thing. Some people may defer and say what their original view was. It's up to people individually. I don't begrudge them any of that. But having let people come up here time after time after time, and number one, asking for Dr. Bender, okay, but it's not an only Dr. Bender issue, but beg for stability. Beg to have some history, somebody who really knew what has gone on in the district, not by rumor, not by not coming to board meetings, not by coming here and thinking we know everything to be done. I don't know everything to be done. You sure don't. And that's not an insult. That's just reality. New board members, new state monitor. That's not, certainly not Mr. Demikoff. It wasn't transparent because that was left out. It wasn't transparent. And the community begged for transparency. There was no other real feedback that came to board meetings or focus groups, no matter how big or how small, that didn't say either Dr. Bender or stability or both. So we went through many years of turnover in Lincoln School principals, and I will rush it in all fairness. And it was one of the big problems with Lincoln School, turnover, new people, until people started getting questioned, like, why are we turning them over? Even Dr. Richardson got challenged with that. I think that going forward, as I said, we should get behind the new superintendent. I hope everybody votes their conscience, but I also understand when people vote in unity because that's comfortable and we have a new superintendent and he will get every chance he deserves. There's no, I am very personally sorry that it isn't Dr. Bender. No one, maybe a few citizens did. Nobody said, you appoint Dr. Bender, but certainly a lot of people asked. And it was by far a majority, not a select group. So I have to wish Dr. V luck. I have to wish the board luck. And doesn't change how I feel about any of you. But I think the process went awry, severely awry, and misguided in with all these positions needed. We got too many factors, and what we don't have is stability. So in that, I probably have some more to say, but I'm not going to say it. I've gone way over my time, and you graciously let me. So welcome, Dr. Hispani. And Dr. Bender, to me, you're amazing in the job, getting us through COVID and coming back for a short time and breaking your tail and working like a dog to get things back in order. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. Do we have anyone to elevate? While we set up, I'm struggling to bite my tongue because I hate when the board president just sits there and says, thank you for your comments. And you guys know I'm a bit of a talker. It's very difficult to respond or to argue when you agree with 90% of what you've just said. And not just you, but Mr. Santos and Ms. Malul and the members of the public that have the concerns that were expressed. It's very difficult to respond when I have no interest in thinking poorly of the current superintendent, and I have much affection for her and much respect. And so I'm not going to do any of that. I'm also not going to hype up the new superintendent. I will allow him to prove himself. And he's going to have to prove himself to us, and he's going to have to prove himself to the public. And so I hear, I know you guys think I don't listen, or we don't listen, but the instability that I spoke of, it's not a total misquote. I did say that, but I'm not afraid of instability when instability leads to change. Some instability is bad. People could fall off the boat, and that's not a good thing. But I think that this district had too much instability in a bad place for too long. And so I don't think that instability is necessarily a bad thing. I think when you ask, why would somebody come to this district? I think that this discourse right here that just happened, to me, tells me why people want to come to this district, right? This is a very contentious decision that we're making, a very difficult one. And everybody comes up to the podium very respectful, very thoughtful, very passionate. And I know you guys will be here again. This is a great district to come to and to work in. And I take a little bit of offense, and I know you don't mean it like that, Ms. Malou, when you say, why would somebody come here like we're a pet skunk that's being offered at a shelter? Like, this is a great district to work in. We have our blemishes. We have a ton of history that's gone awry. This is a great place to work in and a great place to leave. And that's why people don't leave. And so I just want to have a reaction to that. I don't expect anybody.
Can I just add, Dr. Martinez, I just want to
Yes,
interject.
please.
We also have great kids. That's why people want to come here. Often forget about the kids, and people want to come here because we have great kids and they deserve to be spoken to. And I believe that people want to come to serve the great kids of this district.
So I know people are confused. If Dr. Bender is so great, why did we go through this process? I think we've been as transparent about our intentions and our rationale as possible. There are some things that in terms of the interviews and things that it's not a public forum. This is not a popularity contest. It's not an election. It was a selection the same way that you guys are not privy to who we pick as a nurse, or who we pick as a teacher. That's something that happens in the administration. The entire process can't be transparent. I want to check to see if there's anybody to promote. Yes, please. Thank you.
Ingrid Raftery, 58 Euclid Avenue.
Sorry,
Can you
I'm
hear
sorry.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I really have not much to say because I listened to what Mr. DeSantis said, and he said a lot of things that I wanted to say. And I wanted to thank Dr. Bender for doing a wonderful job that she did in the brief time. And I wish the new superintendent good luck. Also, there's something I want to say. I want to really thank all the teachers in the high school who did a wonderful job. I wanted to thank the social worker, Mr. Travis, for doing a great job. I have to say that on a personal level, because when high schoolers are anxious, he's there and his team. So I want to thank everybody in school. And yes, we do have great children. And I have to say our children need to come first. The only other thing I wanted to say, and I don't want to sound negative, but every time I listen, I don't always speak, but I really wish that Mr. Egan was more prepared when he comes to those meetings. I've been to other meetings and I always feel he's not well prepared. He has not much to say, and that kind of bothers me. And I don't mean to criticize him, but there was no May 24th meeting. It was canceled. So I don't understand why he had to say, oh, you get more facts in the next meeting. What's when school opens, I guess, I assume. So I really wished he would be more prepared for those meetings and has more information. I hope you are able to replace everybody from business administrator, you know, all the people that are missing. I hope that you don't lose any more good teachers, because I realize a lot good personnel has left. And that's really all I have to say. And Dr. Bender, you will be missed as the superintendent. I'm happy to hear you stay in the district. Thank you for your service. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Rafferty. Anybody else to elevate? Mr. Egan, you heard it here that Richfield Park wants more of you. Do we have anybody else? Any other comments? No. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Hi, good evening. Maria Escobar, 80 Orchard Street. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, could you repeat your name?
Maria Escobar, 80 Orchard Street.
Good evening.
Good evening. I just want to say welcome to the new superintendent. I'm glad that we are not staying complacent and comfortable in where we were before. My question is, has I asked this about when they were interviewing the new superintendent, any talks in the future about what's going to happen with maybe an overpopulation of students in our high schools and our grammar schools with the new building projects that are coming into Little Ferry and Richfield Park?
Yes, I mean, the board is aware, and I think the town is also keeping track of the new developments. I know Mr. Cathcart sits on both committees, and we are aware. It's just, we're getting mixed reviews about whether it's going to be many kids or how far out the kids will come. Sometimes these are young couples that move in and they don't have kids for 3 or 4 years. So there's a little bit of a lag. I'm sure there will be differences with that when we have, as we expand our universal pre-K. That might have an impact on that. That is all on the radar for us and also for Mr. Egan.
Okay, and do you know if that's like something to project for the future? Do you know maybe a time frame or anything like that? Or it's gonna take, or you're not sure about that yet?
I really, I'm not sure, and I have not heard anybody speak on it with confidence.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. I guess we'll close public comments. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. I guess we'll move on to our agenda. Trustee Kraft, can you please move faculty and programs?
I make a motion to move 901 to 909.
Second.
Any questions or comments on that item? Sorry, Carrie used to ask
Like-
that for me.
I'd like to make a comment. I am very happy to see 901 and 902. These teachers and administrators deserve this. And thank you to the team that was able to negotiate this.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I have a comment as well. Thank you to the negotiating team. It's great to hear that our teachers and administrators have resolved their contract. I'm also thrilled to see 909, summer sheltered ELA PD for our ELA teachers. That's always great to see professional development for the summer for our teachers who support learning in the fall. So great to see that on the agenda.
I'd also like to thank the committee, the negotiations committee, but I also like to thank the two boards. The representatives for the two unions, I think came in with a goal to settle this contract and were reasonable. And I hope that we can all move forward with these contracts. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cathcart,
Yes.
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft,
Yes.
Mr. Phytros,
Yes.
Mr. Gomes,
Yes.
Mrs. McNeil,
Yes.
Mrs. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mrs. Velez,
Yes.
Mrs. Ord,
Yes.
Dr. Martinez.
Yes,
Motion carried.
we don't have any buildings and grounds. Trustee Gomes, can you please move finance and insurance, including the new resolution?
I move 1101 to 1126 and the new 1127A and 1127B.
Second.
Questions or comments? I'll just comment on. Yes, on 1127A and B. Just to make clear that the intent of the Richfield Park Board of Education is not to price gouge our cousins down the hill. It is not to pick at old wounds either. Our hope is to come up with a fair contract that benefits both districts equally. This program has never been a moneymaker or a profit motive, profit-driven program. And so we look forward to sitting down with the boards. And as Mr. Egan has said, putting the past behind us and moving forward. The kids in this district don't know the difference between the hill, up the hill and down the hill. My kids spend more time on the other side of the hill than they do on this side. And it's a shame that the history has happened the way it has, but we're looking, as we are with many other these relationships, we're looking to move forward and fix them. That's my comment. Call, please.
Mr. Cathcart,
Yes.
Mr. Cooney,
Wait, I have to abstain on 1104.
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft,
Yes.
Mr. Phytros,
I'm a yes to all except for those I have to abstain from, which are already noted.
yes. Mr. Gomes,
I will abstain on 1110, yes to all others.
Mrs. McNeil,
Yes.
Mrs. Rodriguez,
I will abstain on 1104, 1121, 1126, and yes to all.
Mrs. Velez,
Yes.
Mrs. Aug,
Yes.
Dr. Martinez,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Trustee Cooney, can you move consent agenda?
Resolution consent 12.01, I so move.
Second.
I'll second it.
Too late, tell them. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Cathcart,
Yes.
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft,
Yes.
Mr. Phytros,
Yes.
Mr. Gomes,
Yes.
Mrs. McNeil,
Yes.
Mrs. Rodriguez,
Sorry, I was distracted. It's your turn to vote. I was distracting you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mrs. Velez,
Yes.
Mrs. Orr,
Yes.
Dr. Martinez,
Yes.
motion carries.
Personnel trustee Orth,
I so move agenda items 1304 to 1317.
Second.
Sorry, 1301 to 1317. I had my screen
Second again.
scrolled.
Ms. Velez, you were second. Any questions or comments on these items?
Yes. First of all, I just want to thank Mrs. Graves. So sorry to see you retire. She's phenomenal. And also Mrs. Emma Ramirez. But also, I just want to thank Dr. Bender and I want to take this moment to thank, I'm sorry, I just wrote this whole speech. Okay, thank you, Dr. Bender. And I also wanted to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to the administrators, building principal administration, teachers, aides, support staff, bus drivers, and parents for everything you have done for our children. Our schools have become a place of learning, growth, and friendships. I am proud to say that my 9-year-old enters Roosevelt School eager to greet the staff and friends, and it's been a long journey. Mrs. Orr, thank you. Thank you for giving a detailed report on the interview process. I would like to echo and state that the committee carefully reviewed each application, including resumes, cover letters, and supporting documents. This allowed us to gain a comprehensive understanding of the qualifications and experiences prior to the interviews. In my 23 years as an educator and parent, Mrs. Lowe, where are you? In my 23 years as an educated parent, I have actively participated in interview committees and sat on both ends of the table, which has been a rewarding experience. As a dedicated parent and community member, like many here tonight, I have an unwavering commitment to the well-being and academic success of all of our children. I firmly believe that fostering collaborative and supportive partnership between parents and the educational institution is crucial for the holistic development of our children. With those same beliefs, I looked at each candidate through the lens of a parent of 5 children, former or current RP students, community member, educator, as well as a board member. I created my own rubric. The interview process was not flawed, and each candidate was given an equal opportunity. Throughout the interview process, I diligently assessed each candidate's qualification skills and for this position of superintendent. I personally was blown away by many candidates, including Dr. Vespignani. Ms. Vespignani, I apologize. Those who know me personally and professionally know that I can be pessimistic and a handful. And when it comes to our children, I want to tell you guys that I want the best of the best for our children.
Ricardo, if I might, I just, first, I have to abstain on 1306. But I would like to thank the search committee for doing their due diligence and bringing forth who they felt was the best candidate for the superintendent's position.
Thank you, Mr. Cathcart. Ms. Velez?
I just want to say that I've only been on the board for 5 months, and this was my first superintendent search. I've known Dr. Bender for many years, and I appreciate her, and I consider her a friend. But with my other fellow trustees, we sat down for hours and hours and hours and did what we were voted in to do, and is to look out for our children. I was very clear that that's the only reason why I was running, and I'm not going to renege on that for no adult. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Velez.
I'd like to make a comment. This is my second superintendent search, my second stint on the board, and I'll reiterate what I reiterated to the board after our search was complete, that I was extremely proud of the work of each of the committee members. We had open and honest conversations. We challenged each other's thinking. There were no agendas by anyone other than let's do what we think is best for the children. Dr. Vespignani, we asked you some tough questions. We provided you with some tough scenarios. And we appreciate your honesty and your candor and your willingness to stick around despite the tough questions presented before you. I want to assure the community that we did not rush this process in any way, shape, or form. We were prudent with our research. We asked tough questions, and we made sure to really think about what we thought was best for our kids. So although everyone is entitled to their opinion, and we certainly welcome you to your opinions, we hope that you trust us and you hold us accountable moving forward. But we really truly believe that we did our due diligence and hired the best candidate presented to us. So Dr. Vespignani, we're here to support you, and we look forward to working with you. Dr. Bender, thank you for your time and your dedication to Richfield Park. And I want to thank the committee member for your intelligence, for your hard work, and for those difficult conversations that we had. I was truly proud of the work of this board, and I'm proud to be a part of this board.
Other comments? I was just going to say, when I got on the board, there was an interim superintendent. This is nearly 5 years ago, I guess. And I did my best at that time, working in a majority, to support that superintendent, to challenge that superintendent as much as I could. I did the same thing when Dr. Bender came on board. I think she will say that I was an ally to her on the board. I worked very hard with her and learned a lot from her, because I'm not in education. Yes, I am now, but I'm not an educator by profession, and she taught me much, and I supported her to the end, including at times when I was one of the few people on the board who was supporting her. When Dr. Haynes came in, with controversy or without, I also did my best and sat right next to him and did my best to support him to be the best version of him that he could be, like I did with the other superintendents. And for the past 6 months, I've tried to do the same thing with Dr. Bender when she came back. I plan to do the same thing with Dr. V. I hope that's what they call you, because that's what you're going to end up being called here. I plan to do the same thing, and I expect that this public will be here. The people who are here, who are frequent flyers to this room, will be here. I hope other people join online, and that you hold us accountable, and that you hold him accountable, but that you also support us. Like, we really have an opportunity here to make a clean break with the past, for better or worse, and to start again. While we were in the back room today during our executive session, there was a big rainstorm, and I don't want to be too corny, but there was a beautiful rainbow that also came out. And I see that as a sign of hope. Dr. Bender will remain on staff. She's already told me that she will do everything that she can to assist Dr. Vespignani in acclimating and in getting onboarded. And I don't doubt her at all. And I think many of you will do the same. If there are no other comments.
One more, I'm so sorry. I also want to thank Anne Marie Coyle. She's been in our district for a long time, 25 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, your turn.
Yes, I have to say a lot of thank yous. I've been here 18 years, so of course I have a lot of relationships. Ms. Graves, you know how I feel about our nurses. Ms. Capote, thank you for taking over the reins over there at Lincoln School. Where are you? I think Dr. Ferrero may have left. Ms. Ramirez, oh, there you are, Dr. Ferrero. I know that I'll say thank you on your behalf since you're here. How's that? Okay. Ms. Ramirez, for all of her dedication. We have Miss Coyle, yes, I know her a long time as well, and I saved one for last. I do not know her that long, but Miss Bradley, I have come to love, respect, and I wish her all of the best in her next future endeavor.
Thank you, Dr. Bender. Can I have a roll call?
Mr. Cathcart,
Yes, on all but 1306.
1305, maybe?
1305, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
But you include 1306 if you like.
And 6, okay. Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Mrs. Kraft,
Yes.
Mr. Phytros,
Yes to all. I'm abstention on 1305 and 1306, due to, prior litigation and, attorney, due to, prior litigation. Thank you.
Mr. Gomes,
I'm a yes to all except 1305 and 1306, based on advice from legal counsel and pending litigation.
is that abstaining on that or voting no?
Abstaining.
Thank you. Mrs. McNeil,
Yes.
Mrs. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mrs. Velez,
Yes.
Mrs. Ord,
Yes.
Dr. Martinez,
Yes.
motion carried.
I would like to invite up Dr. Vespignani to say a couple of words and introduce himself to the district.
Thank you, Dr. Martinez, and good evening, everyone. I'm sorry for my back to the audience. Dr. Vespignani, Dr. V works just fine. Very excited to be here with you tonight. I am just immeasurably grateful for the opportunity to serve as your next superintendent of schools. I was very appreciative as someone who comes from an HR background in public education and similarly sits on the other side of the table frequently in interviews. I was very appreciative of the process set forth by the board in collaboration with HYA Search Consultants. And just a sincere thank you to the board for putting your trust in me as a result of that process. In any district and within any superintendency, there are unique challenges, but there are also strengths to build upon. And I'll be doing a lot of listening and learning, and I'm confident that in collaboration, we can continue to grow this district. It's fantastic that we have so many community members and staff members here this evening. It's great to see the passion that we have within this district for folks to want to come out and stay to share their thoughts and concerns. And just know that as I'm doing a lot of listening and learning, I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you. I'm very fortunate to have a supportive family at home. My wife is at home with our two young children. My youngest is a little bit past her bedtime. They wanted to come this evening. Just know that you'll be seeing a lot of us within the community. And by all means, when you do, please introduce yourself. I look forward to connecting with everyone. Again, thank you for this opportunity, and I'm ready to hit the ground running. Thank you.
Let me again invite you to our 4th of July parade with the family. We'll now move to citizens' comments off agenda. Do we have anybody who signed up? Ms. Ramos?
Good evening, 382 Teaneck Road. I just have a question. Now that, I had the pleasure of seeing last week the dance club perform. Thank you, Trustee Rodriguez. She attended and she even got up on stage and danced a little bit.
Is there a video?
I went on too. So thank you. That was fun. I did too, yeah. So with that said, I wanted to know what plans we have for getting a new dance teacher for the upcoming school year. There was, as you saw, Ms. Rodriguez, at the end, there was a very touching moment. A lot of the kids got up and they made a farewell for Miss Butler. They really connected with Miss Butler, and I'm hoping that they'll have an opportunity next year to continue in another dance club. My daughter already is starting her solo practicing as of now. So I just want to give her some hope so what she can look forward to in the upcoming year. If we have any thoughts of hiring somebody else.
I would imagine that the position will be budget, okay. It's out like we're gonna hire someone?
No, it's out like it's full. The position is already posted.
It is, okay. And also I would to know, I'm not sure if someone mentioned it, but I'm curious to know if there's a BA candidates yet who is holding down the finance department in the meantime. That's the core of the district right now, so I don't want to see that falling apart.
Well, we still have, Ms. Locano is still working for the district until the end of the month.
I'm sorry, who?
Nancy, she's the assistant BA.
Oh, the assistant BA.
Yeah, she's still with us. We're getting help from Mr. Cusumano, and Mr. Egan is still on duty there.
Okay.
And I believe the position was posted, right? Yes, the position was posted. Both positions were posted.
Okay, and just to wrap it up, I just wanted to thank Dr. Bender for your service. I'm sorry for what happened and the way things happen. But I can't knock the new superintendent. I don't know him. And I'm hoping everything works out. So with that said, thank you. I'm sorry. And we have to move on and hopefully things work out for the best of our students. Because as we said, they're first and foremost, the most important thing here for us. So, but thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ramos. I just wanted to add, I meant what I said when I said it before, that we are all going to continue to make sure that our students get the absolute best, everyone together.
Right. And until proving differently, again, I cannot attack somebody without unless he shows me differently. So, and as you all know, I will be here watching. Thank you.
Dr. V, if you have frequent contact with Ms. Ramos, it's because you're either doing a good job or a bad job. I also want to say that I'm glad the dance position is going to be filled because we have an epidemic of kids that can't dance, and that needs to change. Ms. Duran?
Good evening again, Donna Duran, 16 Sabina Street. In your search for the BA, are you looking for an interim or a permanent right now?
What was the position for?
We're actually going to fly position again, and we're in discussion with Mr. Egan. I'm not at liberty right now to make any selection, so I'm going to leave that up to the board, Mr. Egan, and the incoming superintendent.
But this is finance also, so Mr. Egan can override anybody as far as appointing a BA, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. A couple months ago, I was here and I asked a question about how many full-time bus drivers you have on staff here. And I think you told me 3. You had 3 full-time bus drivers and they were entitled to health benefits, correct? Yeah, well.
I have to get back to you on that.
Well, you don't have to get.
Because I'm not really sure. I don't want to misquote if I misquoted previously.
Yes, you did. You did. So I'm going to correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Sure. So back on your September 21st, 2022 meeting, the subject was employment change in status. It was number 1803. It says, be resolved that the Board of Education recommendation of the acting superintendent schools of approve the change in status of following part-time drivers to full-time bus drivers in Richfield Park School District for 22-23 year. These drivers will be paid an annual salary of $52,000. You approved that night, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You approved 5. So you have 5 that you approved and you have 3 already that were full-time. So you have a total of 8. If you want the resolution, I have no problem giving it to you. Okay? I would just like the minutes to reflect that.
That we have,
Okay.
that we have 8.
Well, right now you do have 8 because
Okay.
you approved 5 on September 21st, but you already had 3 already on there. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So you have a total of 8 right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Ms. Malou?
Janet Malou, 163 East Grand. I will tell you that I wrote this last night and I will not read the whole thing because you will be probably flying out of your chairs. Okay. But I'm going to read parts of it. And those of you who know me well know I speak from the heart. And I'm very observant. And the one thing I did know from the first day you brought Dr. Bender back to sit in that chair, that she would not be staying. It was written all over several of your faces. And as I watched the interactions, the only way I could come up with it is it was like you wanted her walking on water. Yet for Dr. Haynes, you parted the seas over and over again. And I truly believe the person who brought this district down to where we are was Dr. Haynes. He had no rapport with the community. I don't think he had any rapport with his staff. And I don't even think he had a rapport with the kids. And that makes for a horrible situation. I'm glad that you took the step to bring her back as short-timed as it is. Now, moving forward, you hired somebody, I don't know who else, you interviewed, but on paper, he offers this district a lot. A lot of the programs, a lot of the things he put into place, because I did go back and I found all the articles that were written when he got his doctorate and a lot of other things. You know, I do my homework. He brings some new ideas to the table. And having worked in districts, including New York City, and putting 32 years in it and in suffering and watching people go and people come, I'm going to use an expression that the parent of the traumatic brain injured young man that I worked with for 6 years coined us as, and that's a dream team. And if you truly are for the children of this district, and you truly want to see our educational system move forward, then there's only one combination I can see right now that makes any sense. And I have a feeling that you will disagree, but I'm putting it out there. You have a new superintendent who brings a lot of great ideas. From what I could see, he's already implemented or might implement here. You had Dr. Bender, who sat here just a couple of weeks ago. And if you remember, I told her, keep her ideas to herself because they're not giving you this position. She had a lot of very forward-thinking ideas. With a phenomenal duo, and I know Dr. Bender, she's going to work with anybody who she needs to. Okay? I truly think that the best position for her at this point, and she has the background to do it, is to take Dr. Haynes' position over. And the two of them together, working together, I think could put this district on the map again in a good way. They each have a lot of talent and a lot of good ideas. and they're forward thinking. It's not, okay, so we're going to make another after school extra help session for the math kids that can't stand sitting in the math class to begin with. And then they're going and sitting again, and now they absolutely hate what they're learning and what they're doing. That's not a way to approach kids that are struggling or have turned off to a certain subject. And I think through the different programs she was talking about and the different programs that I saw listed that he put in, that would make an amazing dream team. And my gut tells me you won't do it, or somebody will say no to that. Dr. Bender, I'm sorry it's turned out this way, but I'm glad you're staying on, and I know you still have a lot to offer this district. And I truly believe that what I just suggested makes perfect sense. But of course, when I think things make perfect sense, not everybody else does. I'm going to leave it at that because my other comments will just stir the pot again. Because I do, like I said, I believe this decision was made to the very beginning. And I also think that as we move forward in this community, this school community, many of you, and I've said this before, you have to be aware of what you are doing to people's careers. Because I can say, as far as I can see, okay, Dr. Bender is here and she will stay here because she's entitled to be here. In the case of Diane Thiemann, you know, you basically put her in a closet. You're not using her for her talents. And that I know comes from the monitor. But I don't see anybody complaining about anything. And that again goes to say to me, you really don't care about your seasoned staff. Let's push them away and let's just bring on new kids that we can mold. And that I hate, because it's your seasoned staff that have learned the hard way through a lot of trial and error, and they bring a lot to be offered. So think about what I said.
Thank you, Ms. Malou. Mr. Santos?
Susan DeSantis. Angela, I'm sorry to hear that some board members think you aren't good for kids. Mr. Egan, my understanding is you called Nick Parapotter and borrowed the Garfield BA because the board and you left this district without a BA to pay the bills when Carrie Grabstein left, and she gave ample notice. Mike Leary lost his license for leaving the district without anybody to pay the bills. I'm surprised, well, not really, that you didn't bring in the BA from Belleville here, since you were the monitor there, and shoved him down Belleville's board's throat and told the board and journalists he was cleared of all wrongdoing. A man who couldn't get a job until he sank to the OFAC investigators about what transpired here. I'd like to ask you, who cleared him of all wrongdoing? As far as I know, rolling deficits forward and especially inflating revenue is a crime. He admitted to doing that. 3 names were sent to the Board of Examiners for license review and possible revocation. No review ever took place, and they have no record of it at all. Things were turned over to the Department of Justice for possible crimes, and that went poof too. So please tell us who cleared him of any wrongdoing.
As far as I know, the FBI, the Justice Department, the state police, the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. They all cleared him. They do, and if I may say, in Belleville. He's
You're
doing,
telling
in Belleville, as the business administrator, he's doing an absolutely outstanding job. Where Belleville now has created with his leadership in the business office and generated enough funds to expand that district. And they're paying and they're receiving and they're doing such a great job. So what happened here in Ridgefield Park, I wasn't here for that. I didn't know I didn't have no knowledge of the dynamics. All I know is of what my relationship and what I've seen him do in Belleville. Outstanding.
So you're telling me that all these people cleared him of an admitted crime?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On what basis? When you admit to a crime, how are you cleared and not charged with it?
Because there's no proof that he did anything incorrect.
We had a forensic audit that proved it all.
No, you had a forensic audit that things went wrong here. And that's why a state monitor was assigned to Ridgefield Park, and the state was looking to make up for the shortfalls. And my predecessor, Wayne Demikoff, he took it first, and I'm assigned here. Everything that happened, and this is, I say this sincerely, everything that happened in the past is in the past. We have to.
I know you like to blow away the past. On another note, didn't you replace Mr. Demikoff because all the whining of him being on Zoom all the time?
No.
I know you're aware I pulled an Oprah request for your timesheets as well as Mr. Demikoff's.
Yeah.
Mr. Demikoff, wait, let me finish. Mr. Demikoff was at every meeting this district held for 6.5 years. As a matter of fact, no meetings took place without his presence. There was one time he couldn't be at a meeting and it was rescheduled. My understanding is basically you're never in the district unless you have a coat that just, hides you. And we know you miss many meetings, and you are. It's via Zoom, and half the time you're seen talking to somebody else or you're off screen. Why are you not ever in this district when you were sent here to be here, present in the flesh?
Well, first of all, the information that you're stating is incorrect.
Not according to, people.
Not according to who?
People in the board office, teachers. I mean, I'm not going to give you names of.
When I first was assigned here, I didn't have an office. I would have to make phone calls and do work sitting in my car in the parking lot. I finally got a lunchroom that was converted that I could use. And I'm there almost every day, almost every day during the week, specifically in the morning. And where I come in and I talk to the business office, I talk to the superintendent, and I am there. So I don't know what your sources of information are, but I wish that you would be more careful to I don't know what the right word is. This gets me angry with it, and I apologize. I shouldn't. I know I didn't do anything wrong. You have my timesheets, and if you want to count on and compare me to what Wayne Demikoff did, and Wayne and I are friends. He has his position. My position is that this district should be run by the Board of Education. I'm not going to take their place. I'll sit and advise. I'll make my recommendations, and I'll work together with them.
Well, I think that you've shown that, there are a lot of things that you do that is, unknown to the Board of Education. And you
Wait,
flip
wait,
flop
wait, wait.
all over the place.
I do things that are unknown to the Board of Education.
I don't even know why you put a man that is missing in action 90% of the time in
Can I-
charge of the pre-K program.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt? This is off agenda.
Right, this is off agenda.
And we've gone probably doubled our time. I think that these are, if a member of the public has complaints about someone who's being paid for the district, I think you have the right to put it in a letter, put it to his supervisors if you have concerns. But I'm not sure that we should continue this back and forth, which doesn't seem fruitful, in my opinion. I'd like you to get back to yelling at
It's
us.
very difficult for me to understand anything you say when I'm standing here. I don't know if it's.
I just think that this back and forth, I'm not sure how much the public is gaining from it. And I think that if any member of the public, Mr.
It doesn't matter what it matters what I gain for, because I'm the one talking.
Yeah, but if we're gonna pull rank, like you're at double your time, and I think to be respectful of the rest of the people, I'm not gonna stop you if you want to continue. I'm not gonna stop you. I think today was a very important day.
Ricardo, if I'm out of time, that's fine. I'll just go sit down, okay?
Thank you, Mrs. Sanchez. Ready to elevate? All right, looks like we should make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I second.
Rodriguez. The motion, I'm sorry. Mr. Gomes made the first motion. Gomes.
Mr. Cathcart,
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
We're gonna bring.
Mrs. Kraft,
Yes.
Mr. Phytros,
Okay.
Mr. Gomes,
Yes.
Ms. McNeil,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Ort,
Yes.
Dr. Martinez,
Yes,
meeting is adjourned.
thank you very much, everybody.